My name is Denise. I'll be the host for today's Tauke Talks. We would like to welcome you to Tauke Talks, a series of sharing sessions where small and mighty businesses, just like Najwa, share about their motivation to start their business and the stories behind the entrepreneurship journey. So this session is brought to you by RYSE, RYSE, a research and social outreach project where we empower Malaysian youth through entrepreneurship. And this is brought to you by RYSE, supported by Citi Foundation. So we believe that entrepreneurship is not only for big startups that has to do with technology, very big scale, but instead we also want to focus on small businesses that are done locally in Malaysia, and also to showcase their stories and how they persevere and keep on going with their dreams even during times like this, right? So I'm happy to welcome Najwa from Yarnbynajwa. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Yay. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and also about your business?
All right, so I start with myself. Hello, my name is Najwa. I'm 26 years old and I live in Langkawi, born and raised here. So I started this business a year ago, July last year to be exact. And Yarnbynajwa, in a nutshell, I would say I'm an introvert person and I find comfort in creating colorful things. So I guess I can relate to everyone that is introvert, sitting in a corner and just like crocheting, you know. Okay. So basically, Yarnbynajwa, I also do a service for a dyeing for my client that wanted a specific color combination. I do that as well, and then they choose the fiber. I have plant-based fiber at the moment, and then they choose the fiber and then they ask like what color they want. I also create my own color and offer it to sell. So yeah.
Is this one of your customized colors that you made yourself? This picture.
This one, yes, yes, actually, this is the dyeing session that I did with my sister. She chose the color, and then I said like, okay, she wanted to be vintage for some reason, and then it turned out to be colorful. And this is a very interesting. You cannot expect what is the result. Like when you add the color, obviously you know that some color mixes together, like yellow and blue become green. So it kind of fun in that way because you cannot expect what it come out at the end.
Yeah. If anyone in the audience would like to find out more about your business, which is the best way to find out?
Yeah, you can. I'm more active in Instagram, and then you can follow me there in Instagram. I also have Pinterest account, and I have all the link in my Instagram bio. So yes, please feel free to go to scroll into my Instagram and hit some love button over there. Give me a support.
Great. So everyone else, if you're interested to find out more, you can go to her Instagram and her Facebook. So moving on, can you share about what inspired you to start your own business?
So what inspired me to start my own business? The very reason that I started this business is it started like many years ago when I started doing crocheting, and you find the ideas in the internet, and as you saw this like colorful yarn, and then I personally like want to have one. I want to have the hand dye yarn, and then I keep looking around in Malaysia, like where can I buy one? And everywhere that I look is basically a factory brand, like a big kind of factory. They come from China, most of the yarn that sells in Malaysia. And I couldn't find a hand dye yarn in Malaysia. And then I started to see out overseas. And obviously in overseas, the shipping price is very expensive, and the conversion rate is as well. And it is really not worth it because you buy 100 grams of yarn and it's around $20 and the shipping is 100 something. So I was like, okay, maybe I could just like, and then after that, I started to do research on like what fibers, okay, can you do this on what type of fibers they are available. And since that, I've been buying lots of different fiber, and then I start to dye for my own. I was like, okay, maybe I can start. I found a niche here in Malaysia because I can't find anyone else that do this service. And since there, I just start dyeing, and I posted my first ever product in Instagram, and I saw a positive feedback, and then I know that okay, I'm in the right track. I'm offering something that is not available in Malaysia. So that's what inspired me to start my own business.
Can you share what was it like when you first started? You started online, is it? Or roughly when did you start it?
So I started last year in July, right? During the pandemic, during the lockdown. So it was by that time I was living in a yacht, so in a marina. So I don't know if you ever come to Langkawi and then you come with the ferry, you will see a marina next to the ferry. And yeah, that's where I used to live, and I started on a yacht. So I'll do all the dyeing on the dock, the pontoon, the floating one. So I just start doing there, and yeah, whenever a ferry come by, it's gonna create like a wake. So the wake will travel, and the pontoon will be like this, and I'll be like, oh. It gets so dizzy when you are trying to focus and under the sun. It's quite challenging right at times as well. Yeah, but I managed through it because I love doing it. For some reason, it gives me some sort of like calmness while you're putting colors. You just like, you in the moment, you just like look at the colors and just like, yeah, dang, dang, dang. And then, yeah, everything else doesn't matter. So yeah.
Yeah. I heard that you started during the pandemic, is it last year?
Yes.
Wow, okay. What were some other challenges that you had when you first started?
So when the pandemic started, we know that all the posting is stopped, the stops during the pandemic. And that's us as well. Because they have like a curfew and during what time it operates. And to get my product out there for my customer, sometimes you have to be in line for hours, like long, like you have to wait for hours. One time I remember this, I have to be in line. I was there at the post office since 9 and I finished around 12. I was this just to post out. That's the challenges, I think, that because everybody in-house, they start doing their own business. They start doing their selling things from home. So yeah, everybody just like, okay, let's go to the post office today. So every day post office is just packed with people. So that's the challenges as well, because they open up until like 9 till 3, I think, during that time, during the pandemic time.
How did you overcome it? Did you just have to?
I have to persevere in India. Just like, okay, wait in the line, to wait in the line, and be under the sun while dying. Be under the sun while dying. You do things that you love and you do things that you're passionate about. Everything just come through you. You just like, I'm here. I'm already nailed my feet on the ground that I'm gonna be there, whatever it is. Even the wake, I'm just like, okay, I need a break. Oh, it's so dizzy. So for a while, just stop for a while. So yeah.
What about any challenges of making the yarn? How was it like in the beginning when you had to the things that you need to get and so on?
Oh, and also as well that when you order my product is basically from all around the world. I outsource it from overseas. And then it takes months to arrive during the pandemic. It took like a full 1 month just to arrive where the supplier said usually it takes around 1 week because it get held in KL. I have no idea what they do, just stuck there 1 month to arrive to me. And then because it's been delaying, you have the eager of like, oh, come on, hurry up. I want to do this. I want to do this. So that is the challenges that I have to wait for a while. In the beginning, I actually do dyeing with a natural dye because I don't have at the beginning I don't have the capital to invest in dye, and I wanted to learn more about the yarn, the fiber itself. So I started to take my turmeric and then coffee and then just add and add into it. Like, okay, what happened? You do this, you do this. And then yeah, I've been learning that actually a plant-based fiber doesn't really go well with natural dye. So yeah. So anyone else out there, if someone said like, this is 100% cotton, it's all natural dye, suddenly it's so red, it's not. They are lying to you. It's not. It's not a natural dye.
So like, you did all this, sorry, go on.
Yeah, just go on.
Did you discover this like before you started the business or
yes, before I started the business where I know I have a cotton yarn in stock. So that was like during my experiment time. So I started on July, right? So earlier in the beginning of 2020, that is where I full on, when I just like learning more about to dye fibers, learning more about types of fibers. So that is like early on. I just put coffee, and then I just like, why it doesn't stick. I saw it in YouTube. They go so well, and then oh yeah, it's because I use plant-based fiber. They use a protein-based fiber.
What were other challenges you faced like during the pandemic? Like, I'm sure it's been ongoing until this year. What were any challenges you faced?
I think like there's a pro and con during the pandemic, because the pro is people are starting to discover about their creative side. And there's some people out there reach out to me and to buy like, oh, I'm a beginner, I would really love to crochet that. So because they don't have anything else to do, they're stuck at home. So they tap into their creative side and just look around what the interests are. And so that is the pros. So people like being creative during the pandemic. And the con is because of people are staying in the house, even though they tap into their creative side, they don't have the capital to buy the good quality yarn that I provided. So I guess like I guess like that is the challenges as well that I face. The people still following in and enjoy, see what I'm doing, but not necessarily mean that they're just going to purchase it right away. Do you?
How did you build that connection or that relationship with customers?
All right, so so there's like what I know that I'm doing. I know that I'm in a right track is where the repeat customer, people like buy one time and then they order again next week, and that is I know like then and then whenever people ask me, I would try my best to help them in a way. Like they ask me, I try my best to help them to understand, like even though when they ask about dyeing, they wanted to do at their home, I would give them advice as well, what to do, what not to do. So I think during that transparency of what I did, it's build a connection with my customer and my followers.
I hope you don't mind if I move on.
Oh, yes.
With the uncertainty caused by the pandemic, how are you planning to help your business to grow, to maintain even during this time?
So I also for this one, I have been in contact and look for a yarn store to have my product out there. So it's not only like I've been posted in Langkawi. So I in a communication with some of the yarn store in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Thailand. So I wanted to be available to everywhere else, so that they don't have to like wait for it there. It's like, oh yeah, the yarn store is just 2 blocks away from my house. Let's see what is there. So that is the my first plan, to have my product out there physically. So when you buy online, right, and then you say like, why you don't know how it feels like. You tend to be more comfortable when you touch the item, when you see the item, and then you be like, okay. So I wanted the product to be out there, available in a yarn store as a ready stock. The second is, my plan is, if everyone else, that I also do this session recently, if everyone else in Langkawi, they wanted to dye their own yarn, they can come to my house, book a slot, and then be a creative and unique person, just create your own colors. So I've been starting to do this, and I get a lot of inquiry about that as well. And maybe that, and then the third one, that what my plan is, I am going to also make my product available in a boutique hotel. So I also like reach out to the big hotel here in Langkawi, so people that come and have do a vacation in Langkawi, they'll be like, my products are available in the hotel that they can take out as a souvenir. Like, oh, my grandmother loved to crochet or knit. Oh, this is good, So it's a product, a local made product that they find it during their stay.
How has it been so far when you reached out to yarn stores, boutique hotels?
So it's just still in a communication base. They are just like, I receive a very good feedback. So it's like, oh yeah, we saw what you did. So they are still in a communication base, because I still look for the craft store out there as well to be reach out, and also people. So yeah, this is still in progress. That is the plan, that what I'm going to, how Yarnbynajwa grow.
How did you find out like this hand-dyed yarn was something that Malaysia wanted, on the market here wanted?
It started because I wanted, and because I wanted, I know that must be like, probably there's 100 people or more will want that as well. And then I start doing my market research for people that can afford a hand dye yarn from overseas. They buy a hand dye yarn from overseas, and then I wanted to provide that kind of service of like, look, you can also buy from locally. You don't have to pay 100 ringgit of shipping. You can pay 7 ringgit of shipping, got the same good quality as the overseas offers. So yeah, to answer that question.
What was it like for you personally? Like, if you suddenly starting a business, are you doing it full time? How was it like with your family, your friends?
Yes, hand dye yarn business. This Yarnbynajwa is my full-time job.
You just started right away during the pandemic, is it?
Yes. On July, I posted my first ever product on July. I gave to my mom first, like the first batch of yarn that I dye. I gave to my mom, and my mom said, "Oh my God, this is so nice!" And her in her like 50 years of, she never see a hand dye yarn. I was like, wow, really? So that is something that probably quite new to the older generation. So yeah.
And your mom crochet as well, is it?
Yes,
So
she crochets since I was little, and I tried to do the chain. In Bahasa we call it tali air, just the chain base. So I learned that when I was like probably 12 years old. I just tali air all the way, and then I stopped. And then I think back in like 2 years ago, I start picking up. And then I come back to my mom like, Ibu, can you please help me how to crochet? So she's the one that helped me and teach me to crochet. And then when I come back to her, she was like, my God, you are you more advanced than me now. Like, why don't you? Why she's the type of person. I think the generation back then, herself specifically, she just do lots of tablecloth. Just tablecloth all the way. Cover TV, cover fridge, cover table. So why not just make a cardigan or a jumper? It's not. I don't know why I don't do it. I don't know. So
where did you
that's
learn
her.
dyeing yarn then?
Okay, so I have an education not from my mom. I have a certificate in mechanical engineering textile. So I know about how fabric were made because my major is in textile. So I remember that sitting in the class, and then the teachers, the lecturer, teaching about dyeing specifically. It hit me. It's very interesting. Like, oh wow, it just like it's a moment where you are very focused in class during a dyeing class. So the teachers start teaching you about dyeing. So I do have a background of dyeing before that, and then and then after that, you work in a hotel. I work in a hotel. I leave all the college industry. I didn't do what my major is. So I work in a hospitality line before, and then you completely forget about it. It's just like, oh, I get my certificate, and what did I do with it? And then few years, like 2 years ago, when I start crocheting, specifically like 1 year ago, early in the beginning, I started to get interest back in dyeing. So I started to relearn again about dyeing. That's why it's like why I don't remember this, like the knowledge that you gain before that is just gone. So I have to educate myself again on a specific topic about the dyeing topic, and I went to YouTube and I just like learn about the YouTube. I don't lots of like overseas, like they teach you how to dye. So basically I get my dyeing information is from YouTube. Yeah.
Wow. I see you're very resourceful and like finding out and being very brave to experiment before you start your business as well. Do you mind sharing what is your proudest achievement so far for this business?
I think the proudest achievement so far is the repeat customer and loyal customer. Repeat customer, it says everything about the product. It says everything about the service that you give to them. You don't repeat a product if you don't like it. So I think I'm in a right track because I have like a lot of repeat customer for me. So that is the proudest achievement. And when people come to me and when people message me like, oh my God, I just found your Instagram, and what I really love what you do. It's just like, it's like warm hug, you know.
So sweet. Do you usually contact customers that are in Malaysia, or do you also supply like overseas?
My main customer is in Malaysia, but I do have a query from overseas as well. People been asking, and then they ask about the shipping, the postage charges, and this is what makes me like want my product to be out there in a physical store. That's why I talking to the craft or the store owner, the craft store owner about like having my yarn out there. So people in that region, like maybe in Singapore, will have the access to my yarn without having to pay like ridiculous amount of postage. It's already there.
I see. Moving on, can you name one entrepreneur that you admire?
One entrepreneur that I admire, I would say this lady that I learned so much the dyeing this hand dye yarn world. Chemnitz. Her name is Rebecca. She's an American lady, and she have a YouTube channel, and she did like experiment on everything. She experiment on this. This is like where I started to found her in YouTube, and then she teach me a lot actually. She's just a wife that do dyeing in her kitchen.
And she sell like yarns as well.
Yes, she do sell yarn, and her yarn is around $28 or so. So it's not justifiable just to buy one and then send it here. It's around 100 ringgit. So I learned from her. So I was like, okay, I learned from you. So she's really inspired me just because of, when someone do the experiment, you don't have to do it again because you learn from that person's mistake, So yeah.
What other traits or how else has she inspired you as an entrepreneur?
Sorry, come again?
How did she inspire you? Like what are the traits that you really admire about her and so on?
I would say her transparency. Her like some of us are very good in front of camera, and some of us like very like her vulnerability. She show it. She's very transparent of what she is. I'm pretty sure what she is in the camera will be the same what we will see like one-to-one. I think that is what I love about her. Like she show everything that what she did, and the first step, like step 1 you do this, step 2 you do this. That's why like I really tap into her more than anyone else's video. It's not like a Krabby Patty secret recipe formula where you have to hide it. She just show it all.
Moving on,
yes.
do you think young people should start their own business, and why?
Irrelevant to age, I think everyone that want to have something for themselves, they start. It's not like just I'm young, I'm 15, I should start. No, like irrelevant to age. Even you're 50 years old, and then you like to crochet, and maybe you think that crocheting is you wanted to start just for a side income during your pension. You don't have anything else to do. Irrelevant to age, everyone should just start their own thing for themselves, even though it's not for selling. It's very important for you to keep your creativity part of yourself alive. And my husband said to me, if you don't build your own dreams, you assist others to build theirs. You get what I mean?
Is that the line that he used that pushes you to this?
Yes. Yeah, just do it. Like if you don't build for your own dream, you assist other, you help another build their dreams. Like I helping another girl out there crocheting with a colorful cardigan, And my dream is to make a colorful cardigan. So
and in a way you're also helping others to achieve their dreams, right? The colorful yarns to make their own nice clothes.
Yeah, we're here to help one another. That's why I believe that's why it's the reason why you're in this earth, help one another.
Thanks for sharing. I hope you don't mind we move on to the Q&A session.
Yes, please.
Okay. There's one question that asked, I want to try to sell yarns, but I don't know how or where to start and where to find a supplier.
So as I mentioned in the in the interview session, that it has been a very expensive learning curve for myself, because I'm outsourcing yarn not from China. I started in China, but I outsourcing, like I recognize that China yarn is, you can get it everywhere. Basically, you can get it everywhere in Shopee, in Lazada, and people resell the from China product. And I started outsourcing others. I started outsourcing in India, in Turkey, in Indonesia, the closest one. And then I think, like, if you wanted to start to crochet in the beginning, try with the not so expensive, because you wanted to practice to do the crochet. And then if you want to resell yarn, try to find a niche. Maybe I don't know if you familiar with the brand that have a cow in front. So yeah, so you outsource it, and then you have to try different yarn that feels good for you. So if you're happy with a specific product, specific fiber to work with, you know that people out there will be very happy to work with it as well. So you sell things that you believe in it. You sell things that you have confident, that you are proud, that it's like you're proud to say, okay, I am 100% like believe in this product. So people out there will tap into it like confident that, okay, she likes it. It's maybe give it a try. It's nice. So yeah, I guess that's the advice I can give. Outsource different company, different supplier.
Yeah, be open with your options, and then be brave to try other options and reach out to people, but also be very confident with your product before you sell it.
Yes.
It's a good advice.
Yes.
The next question is, what made you strive through a local hand dye service? That is, since it's very hard to find, what makes you like keep on going?
I guess the question itself answer the question itself, because it is hard to find in Malaysia. So I think it makes me like go more, because it's hard to find in Malaysia. So yeah, it answer itself basically, I think.
So being a niche business is also a good thing.
Yes, you tap into things that are difficult. It's difficult to find.
I see. We have another attendee who asked, do you have a team for this business, or do you do it by yourself?
It's just been me and my husband. My husband helped me so much. So yeah.
He also dyes yarn together with you.
No, he didn't dye yarn, but he helps me by assisting me to do the logo, and then he the one that been sent out to do the postage most of the time. So yeah, he's been standing in the queue for ages during the pandemic.
How did you encourage him or motivate him even to help you during this business?
I guess he's the one that encourages me to do this. So it comes like he wants to see his wife fulfill being creative. At the side, I don't encourage him. He encouraged me to do this, and then I'll help you along the way.
So the next question is, if I am going to try to hand dye yarn, which would be better? Plant-based, which is cotton or linen, or animal-based yarn?
I think a protein-based. Also, if you wanted to do at home by yourself, the easiest one to dye is protein-based fiber, which is anything that with protein-based fiber, silk, wool, anything. And you can use a food coloring, and you also use vinegar. So the recipe will be you soak the yarn with vinegar, and then and then you also need a heat. So
you put it on the stove, and then you start putting colors. So make sure you have vinegar. If you don't have vinegar, if you have citric acid, that would be nice because it doesn't smell. But if you don't have anything, you don't have citric acid, then you use vinegar. So what the vinegar do is it's prepping the yarn to absorb the color. It's kind of like open up the pores, so the color can come in. So that's so you don't have to do like me in the beginning, coated with turmeric and coffee, and then why it doesn't why it doesn't color, you know? So yeah, that's what I learned. Protein based fiber.
Wow, thank you so much for answering, giving us advices on how to start a business and also some tips on hand dyeing for those who are interested in the chat. Thank you, Najwa. And that was Najwa, everyone, from Yarnbynajwa, sharing about her experience starting her own business at Tauke Talks, brought to you by RYSE and also supported by Citi Foundation. So I think what I was inspiring to me was that you keep on going through because of your passion to start dyeing yarn, despite the circumstances when you had to dye it on the yacht, even though you might get dizzy, or even though it's during the pandemic, lining up, queuing up to just post things to your customers. I think your passion is very admirable, and also how you were very open to share about your knowledge, very transparent about it through your platforms for your customers to know about how your experience was like. And I think that makes you a very approachable, very inspiring Tauke for me. And how like what your husband said about instead of helping others with your business, why not just try to start your own? I think that's a very, very motivating line to hear. Thank you everyone for tuning in for Tauke Talks. Before we go, we just want to share about our next Tauke Talks, which is by Jenny, the founder of Spec Hero. This will be a Mandarin session, just to take note. It will be next Wednesday at 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. You can sign up using the bit.ly link, bit.ly Tauke Spec Hero. And for our upcoming and also ongoing programs, we have Spirit of Malaysian Tauke. So if you are inspired by Najwa today or any other Tauke Talks that you've watched before, you can design a postcard about them and submit it to us before 12th November 2021. And then you can stand a chance to win up to 650 ringgit cash prize and more. So to find out more, you can sign up or find out more at bit.ly tsom 2021. Okay. And our other program is Rise with Us, which is a series of workshops and webinars designed for youth to learn soft skills. So we have about 6 or 5 more sessions to go. So you can still sign up for those upcoming workshop or webinars. So you can find out more at bit.ly Rise with Us. And lastly, if you'd like to hear more about, to see the recording of today's session and see other Tauke Talks, you can check us out at Tauke Talks on Facebook and also Instagram, and also in our YouTube, which is RYSE program. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you so much, Najwa, for sharing with us. We wish you all the best for your business.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.